We are back with the Zero Substance Podcast. Episode 2 is filled with action in both the NBA and soccer. So let's get started. Yesterday, the Bulls and the Lakers playing the United Center in what seemed literally the complete opposite of what happened on Sunday. As far as the Lakers, they look so much better when D'Lo starts at point guard for them. I don't want to knock Russ, but one big thing with Russ is that rushed his pick and roll a little bit. As soon as he got into his pick and roll, I feel like it was just head down, either go to the basket or lob every time. D'Lo looks really poised in that situation where as he gets into the pick and roll, whether it be in Davis, I think he even ran a few with LeBron yesterday. He has a good mid-range, a good floater game, just brings a little more dynamics in the pick and roll, and it's really helped this Lakers team as far as spacing and overall in general. He's looked good with LeBron and A Disney. The few times that they've been on the court together, it has been only a handful of times. He can space the floor for them. And defense looked like it was going to be one of his liabilities, especially early in his career. And he is lengthy. He's 6'4", can kind of really get after these guards. You could put him on a shooting guard, and he could just chase around shooters. But definitely looks a lot better defensively than what I was expecting. Overall, this is a very deep team. You got Austin Reeves playing out of his mind. Austin Reeves has pretty much cemented himself as a starter now. That means you got Dennis off the bench. You get a little bit of Lonnie Walker here and there. And this is just a deep team overall. You got Rui, you got Vandy. One of the big takeaways for me from yesterday is that I saw LeBron at the 4 and Anthony Davis at the 5 a few times, and it just looked like a handful, especially crashing the glass, where both of them they're just super athletes, can get after it, and have great touch around the rim. So I really liked what I saw. Going back to the whole D'Lo thing, LeBron off the ball is great for him. He's timing his cuts well. He's rebounding, he's screening more, and I'm looking forward to seeing if he can kind of reinvent himself a little bit in that aspect and just kind of more play like a 4. This is going to be like 4 LeBron era, where he still looked really great in transition, and obviously he's still got the athleticism. At times I was like, are we in 2005? And I think it would be favorable for him to play 4 on defense, especially so he doesn't have to rotate out to some of these small forwards and get stuck in the perimeter, where he could be down low, take charges, contest shots. I'm really excited to see if these Lakers can get in the playoffs. It's just overall, this team looks like it's gaining great traction at the right time. As far as our Bulls, the first thing that I was curious about as soon as the game ended yesterday, I wanted to know what was the longest win streak the Bulls had this year. I go do some research, and it's 3 games, and that just kind of summarizes the Bulls this year. Just super inconsistent. If only, like my boy Stacey King likes to say, there was 5 Carusos out there, the Bulls would have a chance every night. It just kills me because you see guys like Caruso, even a little bit of Bev, but they're just out there really trying, and some of these other guys take too many nights off. It's just a focus thing. I don't know if it's the leader between Zach and Debo, and I'm just tired of it because you need 4 games to win a playoff series, and the Bulls haven't put together a 4-game win streak this whole year, and I'm already just nervous about the whole play-in tournament situation for the Bulls. And I know it's a team that deserves to get in, but this is where we're at right now. We got a game in Drakeville against the Raptors, which is going to be a very tough game. Hopefully they survive that one, just to give ourselves a chance to go against Atlanta and Treyway, and it's just all sets up for like a double overtime thriller, and it's just gonna be frustrating to see this Bull team not make the playoffs, to be honest. Obviously I really hope they do, but for sure we shot ourselves in the foot numerous times, and we're gonna have to win back-to-back play-in games to get in. I want to talk about the Mavericks real quick. We're currently out of the play-in picture right now. Whole Kyrie trade seemed kind of like rushed, desperate in a way, and it's so unlike Mark Cuban. Now, if you're the Mavs, this is concerning. At the end of the day, you got Luka until 2026, which is always a positive. What are you gonna do around him next year? Look at the free agent list for next year. Kyrie, you're risking that he's gonna walk away for free. And other than that, you got guys like maybe a Draymond Green, a Nikola Vucevic, maybe even Jeremy Grant, or maybe you throw a lot of money at Kyle Kuzma, but then realistically, you have title hopes. This is a very sad situation because Luka's arguably one of the top talents in the NBA right now, especially if you consider his age, and the Mavericks have a lot of decision making and the Mavericks have to make something happen for him real quick, or else deservingly or realistically, he could walk or even end up demanding a trade. In today's NBA, that's a very likely outcome. Even then, though, any of these teams can get in, and the West is going to go down to the last day. As far as the Lake Show, the Mavericks, the Pelicans, the Timberwolves, and the Thunder, it's anybody's game, and we're going down to the wire. Now we move on to football. Honestly, I've been having like this weird little anxiety in my stomach since like maybe Tuesday morning. We're at the Etihad on Saturday, 6:30 a.m., which has just been frustrating and annoying this year. As far as like we've had 6:30 games, and I don't think we won any single one of them. And now I have to risk waking up at 6:30 to get scraped by Pep Guardiola and Manchester City. I honestly see it as either a super, super intense tie, or they're just gonna run a clinic on us. On a little more positive note, Luis Diaz is back in training, so that's always good. We're getting healthy, but I'm at that point where like we have to get top four at all costs, but we still kind of have to start developing these kids as far as Bostich, Harvey Elliott. I want to see maybe Mo get a little bit of rest. I feel like we wore him down to the ground this year, where he's the only one that's consistently played all 90 minutes, and as he should. But I just want to see Cody and Darwin literally get time at all front three positions. Where Lucho coming back, he's naturally a left winger, but I don't know out of those three who's going to be able to play right wing. And in general, it's just kind of more like we're searching for a new identity, and I'm kind of curious to see if Klopp's kind of just going to attack that this year already and get it out the way, or slowly just push for it, or just slowly delay it into the off season and start kind of going towards that in the next season. Regardless, come 6:30 a.m. on Saturday, I will be there, never walking alone. I really hope we could do Arsenal a solid. Shout out my boy Yogi. This Arsenal team is 2 years ahead of schedule, already knocking on the door of their first Premier League trophy. Super young core. Arteta really just showing all that knowledge that he learned from Arsene Wenger. And in general, this is a team that we're just gonna have to deal with for probably the next 5-6 years at least, just off the base that they already have and the culture they already begun to set. Obviously, the Europa loss was a little hurtful, but even then, I think it's more beneficial in the long run, as far as they just have one main focus now. And the sky is the limit with this Arsenal team going forward, to be honest. Hurts to say. I want to shift things up to Man U, where for them it's kind of the opposite. Now that they kind of pretty much lost a little bit of hope for the league, but they're still in the Europa. And I want to talk about their chances in the Europa, where I realistically think they should be the favorites right now. They get an unfortunate draw against the kings of the Europa in Sevilla, who is going to really test their patience, is really going to just defend them. It's going to be a nice challenge for Ten Hag to get creative and see if he can and see how he reacts on the big stage. When a team kind of denies your first option or your original style of play, like Sevilla will probably just disrupt the whole game plan. I'm really curious to see how Ten Hag's going to adjust to that. Where the winner of this matchup is going to be a clear favorite. You still got some German teams in there. Juve and Sporting have been playing really good. And you got Mourinho in there, where you can never count him out. I feel like Mourinho is just kind of bound to make it to the finals. But I really want to see Man U lift this trophy. I'm tired of this narrative that La Liga just owns the Europa and the Champions League, which they have, but we want to change that direction for sure. Now it's time to talk about the Vardreed Invitational, better known as the Champions League, where obviously they're still in it, and that has to put a little bit of fear in everybody's heart. I want to see what this young Chelsea team could do, where this whole year they just kind of been through it, and a lot of drama, a lot of off the court stuff, off the field stuff, and Chelsea's kind of just playing with house money against them. But obviously Madrid's still the clear favorites in that matchup. If you're a neutral fan, fan, you have to be rooting for Napoli to win this trophy. As far as from a neutral standpoint, you have to be rooting for Napoli, and they're looking for a double with the Champions League. They get a familiar foe in Milan, where this is a great matchup because when two teams know each other in the Champions League, anything can happen. Even though you beat them in the league, they just know you so good, and they can just end up stealing a matchup from you in the Champions. Benfica Inter is super well matched up, but unfortunately, whoever they get in that next round is just going to be a tough matchup for them. And that brings me to the best matchup of this round, which is Man City versus Bayern. Honestly, pretty weird that they let go of Juju out of nowhere, but Thomas Tuchel knows Man City and he does great against Pep. So this is just for sure an intriguing matchup, and I'm really looking forward to see what happens where the winner of this matchup is going to be the favorite to win it all. Can Man City finally get over that hurdle? Is Bayern going to be able to get number 7? The Champions League is just must-see TV at this time of the year, and it's going to be dope finding out who wins this championship. And I got literally the field against Madrid. Hopefully we can finally knock those guys out. I really wanted to chat Barca and PSG, but I'm going to be respectful to a few of my buddies who still think they haven't fully secured the league and they don't want me to jinx them. So I'm just going to tease that, where I just can't wait to talk about PSG and the super big 3 era that I think might be coming to an end already. And I'm going to really try to make a time and effort to go Spanish tomorrow because I want to talk about Liga MX porque mis Chivas van contra el Atlas. And that's going to do it for today. But you guys know that the work's just going to keep on continuing. Feel free to slander me on the comments because that's what I love more than anything. And this is my biggest reason doing this. I just want interaction and I just want to talk sports on a 24/7 basis. Up the Reds!